There we go. Hello, world. We are back. New, fresh episode of Grammys and Heismans. You already know by now. Your host Chuck Walton, alongside JG, my brother, my co-star. How you doing, Jay?
I'm hanging in there, man. We had some technical difficulties this morning, but Chuck powered through. He would not let the Riverside FM stop him. He did
It did
not.
not. It did not stop me. I was
But
acting like I was. I was.
you cannot wear a loud shirt like that and let Riverside FM stop you,
I,
bro. You
I
cannot.
know. I look like I'm wearing an old school Biggie Smalls Coogee sweater or something. It's crazy, man. It's nuts. It's nuts, man. Now so no guests today, just me and JG, your two faves. But every now and then we're gonna, replace the guests with just us, just to kind of catch you guys up on everything that's going on at the network. So let's give some updates on some key clients, JG. Let's catch them up. I guess everybody's been emailing and texting and calling us about our boy DJ Lagway. So what's been going on with number two? I know things have been getting crazy in Florida, but uh, how's number
What's
two
going on
doing?
What's going on in Florida, Chuck? What's going on?
It sounds like they want JG to come in there and be the new AD or be the new head coach. One
I
or the
mean,
other.
I'm wearing orange and blue today, but it's Broncos. I had to go Boise. I couldn't take the Florida smoke. I didn't want the
Yeah.
fans to. Um, Look, I think a couple things. DJ is who we thought he is. By the way, I always love my Gators guys. There's the diploma. Okay, so let's never get
Yes.
confused.
Yes.
Look, I think what's going on down there is you're seeing a couple years. A couple years of just Gator Nation expecting to be back, and us falling short has been really hard. For I think a lot of Gator Nation to take because we were told that this year was going to be different. And to come out and lose two games like the way we did is just tough to take. I trust in the University of Florida and the people there to get it right. Of course, we hope and pray that that they're going to turn it back around. They should beat Mississippi State this weekend. But as far as DJ, I mean, people ask me, "Are you surprised? That was crazy." No, not surprised. I mean, this kid is just Mister Determined. I spoke to him after the game, and you would think that, right? He'd be like, "Oh my God, that was great." He was like, "Man, a lot of work to do, just getting started," and that just tells you everything about him. Like, and then the Texas A&M, yeah, man. I mean, just they felt flat. They just felt flat. And so they should beat Mississippi State handily. I hope so, and hope they can get this right on the right foot. Get a bye week, and then they head into playing UCF. They have UCF and Tennessee back to back, and so we're going to find out what this team's made of.
Mhm.
As far as DJ personally, of course, I'm happy to see him play. The goal, and look, I stand on this, and I have a lot of, we have a lot of conversations with parents and quarterback. I call them my quarterback dads because that's the reality of, where I spend a lot of my day is playing time matters. Parents, if you're listening to this, playing time and hitting that field matters. And
Yes.
so I'm at peace that DJ has now shown the world who he is and flashed. And I love, I'm going to take my representation hat off, and as a Gator, to see him say afterwards, "I'm a Gator through and through." I mean, I don't know, how you don't get fired up for a guy that just wants to be there and lead this team back to victory. So
No, I love the mentality, and that's what I was getting at. I think a lot of fans are worried. Like it's great when you have this true freshman superstar. We all know what he's going to be, but he is showing flashes. But then you're like, man, we're losing games, and with the looming threat of the portal, I know that people get nervous and things like that. But it does seem, DJ's 1,000% locked in on getting the Gators back to the promised land.
he is. He's locked in, baby.
So now let's talk about our boy Julian Lewis, man. What's been going on with Jew? He's been on fire. I mean, his accurate. We had his dad on the show, and we talked about,
Hey,
you know,
has he been throwing touchdowns? I haven't been seeing. We have
he's
breaking news: Julian Lewis throwing touchdowns to receivers.
the
Update,
completion percentage and the touchdowns are just out. I mean, the numbers are outrageous. He's completing like 90% of his passes.
dude.
It's ridiculous.
I heard rumors that Chuck Walton was trying to re-enroll in high school and just go play with Julian Lewis to see if he could get a bag.
I could catch a couple passes. You know what I mean? Put me in a slide. Chuck Welker. Chuck Welker.
Dude, Chuck Welker, he's first and five, turns around, hits you with a podcast. You never know. Yeah, I mean, look, just proud of him. I mean, I'm not going to name any services, but lots of services try to tell us he was the fifth best quarterback in this class, which was, I mean, we're not going to say
Ridiculous.
written.
I think he's and hold on. Respect to Bryce Underwood and who signed Longstreet. I think both those guys are incredible talents. I think they're going to be elite future NFL stars. But I've always felt, even with the reclassification, to me, Julian should have still been, at least the top quarterback.
It's very simple. When we're not talking about, let's just be clear. I'm going to say my words right, and I'm not going to mince them. When it comes time to step on the football field and play football, I don't know how you're putting anyone over him. Period.
I agree.
So enough said. I'm just proud. Look, he's doing what he's doing. I mean, he's got the Carrollton team ranked number 7 in the nation,
Yep.
and that's exciting. I'm just happy for him, and just happy for him. But I'm excited to see it. It's cool also seeing USC. Really seems. I know Chuck is breathing easier here. Seems like USC's got the momentum. Big test this week.
Michigan.
Michigan after they get beat. I don't like that for them. It feels like one of those things where you feel USC's rolling. USC's
Yeah.
rolling. They got it going.
It's
Michigan's down.
yeah.
This feels like it
A
just don't.
trap game. It feels like a trap game. Michigan's motivated more than ever. I think Alex Orji. I always thought he was the better quarterback than Davis. And so this is a nervous week. But I'll tell you what, Miller Moss has been lights out, man. He's been lights out. And if he keeps this up, he'll head on to the NFL, and Julian will step in and start as a true freshman, which is what I'm hoping for.
Mhm.
But I mean, let's talk about the Broncos. Not Denver, but you got the
Are
Boise.
are you the official Julian to start as a freshman chair? Are you running? You're
Yes.
running the PR chair. Official
Yes.
statement from Chuck Walton.
I'm gonna make a crazy statement, and I want the world to know this. I love Miller Moss. I think the kid is a great quarterback. Miller, keep balling out and get on to the NFL. I don't care what round, because if Miller Moss stays at USC, he will be beat out by Julian Lewis as a true freshman. That won't look good. So Miller, keep doing your thing, get us to the playoffs, win some games, and get on to the NFL. I don't care what round. And I'm always rooting for you, brother. Fight on and get ready for the Juju show, because it's coming. I'm
Um,
telling you.
I have too much fun doing this with you, Chuck.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the other number 7, Malachi. How's Malachi doing? What's been going on?
Well, I got my Boise hat on. We got some updates. Look, he was out here during the break. I love his focus. I love
Yes.
his energy. Obviously, excited for him to eventually get that shot, which he will, and I think he's going to be better for it. He's had some stuff that he had to learn. It's been a transition from a system, as you
Yeah.
saw. He came from an air raid offense, guys, to a complete pro. He had not played in pro style, I think, 5 or 6 years, and
Yep.
everyone's like, "Oh my God, Malachi is not the starter. What happened?" He will. Look. That's my little brother. I've represented him from day one. I have all the belief in him. But yeah, I think his time is coming. I think his talents are there, and it's all about making sure he was ready and learning that system. So I'm kind of sad because I feel like they had Oregon. I feel like they really let him off the hook, dude. It felt
They
like
had him. They had him.
you know. But yeah, excited. Most importantly, we got a Friday night game in Vegas against UNLV for Boise, which the Lord, I can't imagine. Me, Chuck, and Eric Nelson not in Vegas on a Friday night for that game. So I feel like it's God's plan. We got to get our voice starting. We need the dinner at Delilah before
Yes.
we need it all. So
It'll look like the sequel to Old School. I'll tell you that. It'll be going up. It'll be going up.
well, I'm not going to name the player, but we did a client onboarding, guys. Also, we're going to have some really exciting updates. We have
Yes.
some pretty exciting and marketable players that are joining. We're very specific and elite of we believe the clients will take on, but excited. Well, I was on an onboarding Zoom with him last night and Chuck with one of our clients, and we asked him, he says he doesn't, said, so do you watch TV or shows? He says, yeah, I don't really watch anything. Well, actually, I watch Bad Boys. I said, what do you watch Bad Boys? He's like, yeah, I watched all the Bad Boys. Like, that was it. That's all he watched. He doesn't know anything else. Like,
Like over and over and
over
over
and over.
again.
He just watched, and I thought of you. I'm like, all right, all right,
You already know. And shout out to the Bad Boys family. I
Yeah.
mean, speaking of watching stuff, I mean, our other client, Davy Belfort, who's incredible, and we love his family. Disney Plus is debuting a new project on his aunt, who was tragically kidnapped. kind of break that down. And I mean, Davi's family story in general is just
Yeah.
is one
I
for the
mean,
ages.
yeah, man. I mean, what an interesting dynamic. Your father's a UFC champion, your mom's a
Yeah.
supermodel. He's got two younger sisters, one that's going to Georgia Tech for
Yep.
volleyball, and one that's an all class track performer. Um, yeah, I mean, pretty exciting. It's coming out on not Disney Plus. It's the story of his sister, Vitor's sister, that was kidnapped, and how that
Yeah.
kind of also impacted his career.
Yep.
People don't even realize that while he was in the midst of his career, that was all going on, which personally I can't even imagine trying to block that out and deal with that. But just have a lot of love for that family. Super cool to see such a close knit group, and also to have just with the height of women's sports, kind of Davi paving the way. Hopefully in line at Virginia Tech. Shout out to Mike Vick. For his sisters to go, do track. And what else we got? Speaking of Mike Vick, we're excited. We got some announcements coming on Tuesday. You guys may have seen it. It's been plastered all over Chuck. I think Chuck got a tattoo about the project, but
It's right here, baby. I can't wait.
we have Evolution of the Black Quarterback coming out on Amazon. I'm so proud of Mike and his wife Kiafa, Brian Chair, my partner, putting this whole thing together with Smack and Amazon. Just talking about, candidly, the evolution, how Mike coming in changed the game. I mean, they got Jamie Foxx, they have Roger Goodell, they have there's a whole slew, all the great black quarterbacks.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, guys, the premiere is going to be at the Apollo Theater, which is going to be awesome.
That's
So
gonna be
I'm
fire.
super excited. I'll be in New York with Doug and Brian, and just really kind of happy for Mike to see this moment. We have some other film and TV concepts with Mike that we're putting together, but just excited for that. I think there's a lot of interest. Like you said, Chuck, I think there's 15 starting NFL quarterbacks that are black now. So that's talk about impacting the game.
Yeah, changing culture. Shout out to Michael Vick, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And then I guess one last update on the network side. Talk to us about Rachel Glenn. I think she's got Fashion Week coming up, correct?
She's got LA Fashion Week coming up. The Rachel Glenn legit world tour comes back from Olympics. Comes back from Olympics. I see her at a pump event. I don't know how she popped up there, but she saw her at the pumps event, and now she's on to bigger things. She's getting ready for track season, and kind of we talk about building that brand. Our goal for us was to really put her into fashion and get it more. Um, she's doing Fashion Week. She's got some shoots coming up, and then just excited to see when you sign talent, them actually go start to accomplish the things that you really set out. Everything
Yes.
starts with strategy. Like people ask, I think the difference from what we do, we're not just a firm who represents you and goes to market like, oh, let's get you this endorsement deal. Like, what do we got to do to get you where you need to be? I don't care if it's $1,000 deal, if it's free, whatever it does to kind of start you on the path to kind of get to your
Get you
ultimate
going.
goal. I think that's kind of what gets us excited.
I mean, that's a good transition to the next topic. We were talking before the show. This NIL thing just seems to be getting crazier and crazier, and now they're saying
Mm.
that it's affecting ticket prices. I mean, they're saying that colleges are adding a little boost to the ticket prices in the NIL, and I think was it Tennessee? I saw was it Tennessee that's now they're going to be basically taking a tax and paying the tax, taking the tax to pay the players.
Yeah. Yeah, they're putting it, they're being, I guess you can do that when if you guys really think about where Tennessee was 3 years ago. Okay, guys, we're talking, I don't know, but I think it was like 4 wins. Like we're talking, it
Bottom of
was
the barrel.
bottom of the barrel. Where do we perceive Tennessee now? And I'm not going to name the boosters and people, but when NIL came, they told me we're going for it. I don't care what it takes. This is our moment to get off the mat. So what an unbelievable thing. They get to it. They don't hide this tax. They announce it. They throw it out there, and that shows you what winning will do for you. People were
Yes.
pumped to pay it because, like, you know what, dude, it's an arms race. And I'm going to drop some knowledge here. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to kind of what happened. There was a ruling. We've heard this settlement and rev shares coming. There was a big setback a couple weeks ago. Um, they announced that the judge did not ratify the settlement because in there it basically was saying that collectives that cannot really go on top of the rev share that
Mm,
was stands. And obviously, that in some level caps a potential earning. And the
right.
judge basically came back and said, look, we've told you you cannot cap the player's earning. And this was something that the NCAA did not really expect to be coming. And so now I think we're going to see it. That basically, to me, in my opinion, this is Justin's professional opinion, that pushes back rev share a year.
Mm,
I think if it was going to hit in 26, I think it's hitting in 27.
27.
Could be wrong, could be sooner. I think also now this opens the window for for a super conference. We've been keeping hearing about this.
Hmm.
The NCAA, if you think about it, is meant to be the guidelines and set the parameters, but there's really nothing to say that that has to be the group the ruling. Like if the schools get together and say we're going to take football, we're going to build this conference, and everyone signs on and says, look, this is how we're playing the rules. Nothing's to stop them. And to me, that feels like the inevitable at this point because
It
I
does.
think the NCAA has now had a couple chances to sort of get this right, and almost every time they've been hit flat-footed. So I kind of feel for Charlie Baker there, like kind of stepped into a situation. It's like life's about momentum. It's really
Mm.
hard to kind of stop the bleeding once the bleeding started.
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. I mean, and just staying with the NIL thing, Georgia, the state of Georgia, finally, they finally got across the NIL goal line. I mean, what took so long? I mean, especially a state that, if we're talking quarterbacks, they've kind of become the quarterback factory over the last several years. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Julian Lewis, right? I mean, just so many guys coming out of there. What took so long for Georgia to finally get with the NIL program?
That's a great question. Um, I don't know. I honestly, I think there's just a variety of factors. One of the things is I think just a lot of these states are just nervous about regulating and the bandwidth it's going to take, and like, what are you regulating? What are you not regulating? How do you keep up with the Joneses? So,
Right.
um, I don't have too much to say on it because I think every situation is different. And look, politics are politics, and I think a lot of the state by state have to do with, man, you know how politics are, man. We
Yep.
we don't we sometimes as fans and people we think we see what's going on. It's like seven levers deeper than that.
Yep.
So
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, okay, and just circling back, to Florida, not in the NIL space, but let's talk about what's going on with Billy Napier. I mean, people are very, very upset. I mean, they're making Reddit pages. There's new Twitter pages. I mean,
I
I
saw,
feel like
look, you were the seventh ranked potential person to take over the job. I mean, I don't know
I,
how that happened.
I saw, and you were the fourth. I mean, they got odds on who the next guy in is. They're saying Lane Kiffin. I'm hearing all type of crazy names. I mean, I heard some people say Nick Saban should come back and just take over Florida, which would be super wild. But we know he's not a big NIL guy. I mean, you being our resident, Florida alum, and just being on the ground there. There's the fan portion of this, and then there's the football business that it is, right? Is there a world where we see Billy lose his job, which is rare at the college level, but during the season? And how do guys navigate something like this, right? I mean, they hear the rumors, they've got phones, you know what I mean? How do you navigate being on, at least in the early portion, the losing team? People are turning on the coach and just figuring out like, man, is he going to be here next year? I mean, this is his last season, right? At this point,
I mean, look, I'm gonna say this. DJ went to school at Florida. I have DJ Shamar Tank. They all love Billy Napier. Look, I don't have actually a bad thing to say about Billy Napier. I think at the end of the day, though, we're in our results business, just like me. For my
right?
clients, if we don't deliver results, he's not fired. And in any world, you have a chance. I think. I mean, look, what could it make it through? I mean, let's be real. If he won six straight games against this competition, people will be like, I don't know.
True.
Um, I'm just saying that. So everyone has a chance. If you're asking me my opinion from what we've watched from Miami and Texas A&M, like I just don't think the results have been good enough. Would I love for them to turn around? Absolutely. I would love nothing more. You asked the question like, what does it look like for an in season? That's a very good question because you want stability for your program, okay? And as fans, I think fans just want to feel that, oh, we changed so we can move on. People have to deal
Right.
with the reality of like when we actually do this, when we go to work the next day, what does this look like? And
Right.
you have to also decide if is that give your team a better chance of winning when you make that change, even if you don't think it is. I'm just saying this out loud. So I think, I think where they my this is my perception is where they are. Is that everyone's watching closely. I'll call them
Mhm.
the powers that be. This is just my surmising from watching the situation. Is that the powers that be want Florida to get back where it is, and I feel like they're. We got Mississippi State. We should win. You got a bye week. And
Yeah.
honestly, to me, that UCF game is going to be the thing I'm really circling. I'll be there.
Hmm.
It's kind of like you almost get 2 weeks if you're Billy to like really get your team,
Show and
ready.
prove.
Yeah, show and prove. And I think if that doesn't happen, you know, that's just me guessing. Like if that doesn't happen, that feels like something like, all right, man, we've seen this long enough. But I hope that they turn around. I hope DJ goes crazy, and keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of going crazy, as we transition the network, man, we've been doing some super, super powerful collaborations with some big time companies and partnerships. Is there anything that we can leak out and share with the folks a little bit?
Yeah. Let me think of what I can leak out. Uh,
'Cause there's a lot coming. We can't say everything.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I don't know if there's so much I can say right yet.
Well, let's talk about just our expansion into
But
producing.
I can talk about what's coming. What's
Yeah.
coming is, we have had this talent side. I personally think we're really good about it, and I love what we're doing. I'm excited about the advisory side of the business, where we're working with schools and collectives and brands to
Yes.
actually work with them on how to enter the collegiate space, how to maximize it, programs. That's exciting because we have a couple schools that we're going to be working with, and even potentially one conference. So that feels like that's a big focus for us. On the production side, we're in production on 2 shows on college campuses, uh, one involving a very preeminent quarterback, former quarterback. So, it's just exciting for the business of college sports. And this is just me on just
He,
a
he's
personal,
more he's more than preeminent.
yeah. This is just me on a personal level. Like,
Yeah.
just loving what we're doing, love the team we're building, love
Absolutely.
the energy. I think it's really fun for people to do business in sports, and I think people always love pro sports. I'm seeing that alumni and fans and people are loving being able to engage in business around the collegiate sports and have an impact on their community and team. I think that's what's happening. As I keep saying it, you're getting these amazing alumni. We see McConaughey, we see all these people coming back.
Hmm.
Um, there's even a school that we're potentially working with that's trying to get into a conference, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
you
Which
know,
is dope.
yeah. So just excited about it. I mean, guys, it's I get a lot of college students reaching out to me. How do I get into this? Look, if I'm a college student and you're into sports, if you don't take advantage of watching this landscape shift, and like there's so much opportunity. There's opportunity on the team side, there's opportunity on the
Yep.
representation side, there's opportunity in the brand. And it just takes paying attention. There's a lot of newsletters and information out there. Become an expert, you
Hmm.
know? Part of it is, I've gotten some great advice, like get as close to the person you want to have their job someday and just do whatever it takes to be a part, to be near them. So that's why I intern for Chuck, and just try to make it all happen. But no, just excited about the space. I don't, guys, not slowing down. Like
Oh, not at all. Not
this
at
is
all.
another three. We got 3 years. Every day is going to be a news article. Like this stuff is just picking up.
Yeah, nonstop. I mean, salute to everybody, on the team. I mean, we have a special family that we built over here. JG's been leading a great charge, and even our supporters of the show, man. Shout out to Carson and Manny and
Yeah.
Michaela and Molly, everybody that just makes us what we are, man. The show, we just were like, hell, let's just try this thing, and like, we're getting a lot of feedback, a lot of hits, a lot of reposts, and
I would
it's
love to
just
know, look, also, we got to figure this out. Eventually, we should do a live at some point, Chuck,
yeah,
where people could ask questions, because I think there's a
yeah,
lot of people that have questions just about the NIL space.
for
And
sure,
but yeah, and it's fun to kind of just do these sessions where we talk about what's going on, because it's just so much. So,
yeah.
at this weekend, going to be hitting a double, hitting the Oklahoma State Utah game,
Okay.
driving 2 hours and hitting the Tennessee at Oklahoma game
Oh
uh,
wow.
with my man Doug Scott. So
Okay.
hitting the double. Um, I have an advisor investor named Gordon Whitener. It's very hella plugged in out there. He's going to be rocking a cowboy hat and some cowboy boots. So
I'm actually hosting this festival at the end of the month, and they asked me to wear a cowboy fit, and I've never put one on. So my girl
you
went and
gotta
bought
go.
me.
You gotta go like McConaughey lace.
Yeah,
With the jacket.
yeah.
You gotta go. You
I,
gotta go full drip, bro.
I need the full McConaughey inspired drip. So my girl's like, "You're gonna wear a cowboy? Like I've never seen a cowboy fit." I'm like, "Well, you're the one for the country, not me." But we'll make that work. And in closing, my bullshit of the week is something that's not working out too good for Sean P. Diddy Combs. We've all heard the news, and you know it's not for us to really, say what side of the coin we're on because he still has to face trial, But what I will say is that, man, I know a lot of Hollywood, a lot of the music industry, especially hip hop and R&B, is probably on edge, from what came out and the findings. It sounds like there were some other people
Mm.
involved with this enterprise that they're saying that Puffy was, the head of, and so, you know, good luck to anybody out there that was doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And
Are you? What are you saying? I
hey,
don't even know. I don't even know. If Chuck's basically saying like
I'm
this.
not on any
What
tapes.
is
I'm just
it?
saying.
This
I'm
the
saying to my compadres. I know you now, but if they find them tapes, I don't know if I know you. That's all I'm saying. So good
what is
luck
it
to.
called? It's coming home to sow. The oats have come home to sow. Like
Yeah,
that's
what they say the chickens are coming home to roost or what they used to say. So good luck to everybody out there that
So
may be.
Chuck's trying to tell you what Chuck's trying to say is he's very thankful he sat out some nights. That's actually
Yeah.
it's actually a victory lap for Chuck. Man, shout out
Yes.
to all the post parties I did not go to. I'm feeling good about that.
Thank you to Turs and OVO and everybody for just bringing me to Delilah. So I stayed down the hill and didn't go up the hill. So we trying
Well,
to we trying to stay out of harm's way on this side, man. So
all right. Well, big week, guys. College football, college basketball coming soon.
oh yeah.
Love y'all and appreciate to my co-host Chuck Walton. That's a wrap.
Hey, we love you guys. See you next time.